Are you on? Invite some people to join too. Like your mom, invite your mom. Did you invite your mom to join? I'm going to try to give it a few minutes. Invite someone to join you. Someone you know is maybe a survivor or someone who enjoys poetry. Is that what? Yeah, I'm going to get started in a few minutes. Invite some people to join you. Let me know when it's 3:05 and I'll officially get started. Okay. Oh, my books. The corner's a little bit. Well, this is my working one, so it's fine. While we're waiting, if you would like an autographed copy of She Decided to Bloom, a love story written in prose, you can email me at toyniaedmond@gmail.com. That's TOYNIAEDMOND@gmail.com. All of the books are $9 plus $5 shipping. So that's a total of $14. And the payment methods I am accepting are Cash App, PayPal, and Zelle. Okay, is it 3:05 yet? Okay, I'm going to get started at 3:05. Invite some people to join us. Is it 3:05? No? 4, okay. I forgot to put my lipstick on. Oh well, we already started. Oh well. It was just brown anyway, it's fine. Is it 3:05? Thank you for letting me know. Hi. You all know me. I'm Toynia B. Edmond, and I am the author of She Decided to Bloom, a love story written in prose. I published this book on Valentine's Day. I love you too. On Valentine's Day. But I finished the book in October of 2018. I guess something just ruffled in my spirit and told me, you know what, it's time to go ahead and publish it now. Like it's time. It's, you know, you're ready. So I did. This book went through quite a few name changes. I honestly decided at the last minute, right before finalizing everything, that I wanted it to be a love story written in prose. Because I felt like it was the journey of a toxic love ending and the beginning of me learning to love myself in a healthy way so that a healthy love can come and find me. So I'm going to start with the epigraphs. Now, for those who aren't familiar with poetry collections, the epigraphs are basically the quotes that basically describe each chapter of the book. So they kind of set the tone. So the first epigraph is, my life fell apart after the unraveling of my marriage. Towards the end of it, I almost died. Sometimes I think I did. I feel like it buried me, and instead of dying, I decided to bloom. In order to rise from its own ashes, a phoenix first must burn. Octavia E. Butler, Parable of the Talents. So that's chapter 1. Let me find chapter 2. Let me find chapter 2's epigraph. I'll put tabs and everything else except for the epigraphs. Okay. So chapter 2. Growth is painful. Change is painful. But nothing is as painful as staying stuck where you do not belong. N.R. Narayana Murthy. In chapter 3, there's 3 chapters in this book. She never seemed shattered. To me, she was a breathtaking mosaic of the battles she's won. Hi, I'll wave to everybody. Okay, so in this portion, I'm going to read a few poem requests, and then I'll go into questions, and y'all can ask me questions and everything. So someone requested silence. I remember giving you the silent treatment for days. You would beg for my voice, then ignore me when I spoke. Silence. Most of my poems throughout this book are very short. I wanted to concentrate on saying a lot with very little. Okay, let me find another one. Let's see. There's 1 or 2 that I tabbed for a few questions that I wanted to answer. Okay. And as you can see, it's a full, when you open the book, it's a full flower. Hey, everybody. Hi. Okay. Love isn't blind. I saw everything. I saw the text messages, the pictures, the lipstick, the condoms, the drugs. I was in such amazement of you, how you were able to be in 2 places at once. You were magic. Your words played tricks on me, danced on my heart. Love isn't blind. Love is magic. It puts a spell on you. Okay, let's see. This is Tina's request. I remember specifically. Love. Love. It is the savior of the world after all. I just wish it would come and save me for once. No. Okay. I'm going to do 2 more before delving into the questions, but I'm trying to find the one that I wrote for one of the questions that I want to answer. It's in chapter 1, I believe. I have to try to find it later. It's okay. So, how little girls grow up to be women like their mothers. In her garden, she waters her seedlings with tears of joy and sorrow, rubs her pregnant belly with bleeding and bruised hands. She dies when giving birth to you, giving you her life force. Everything I do, I learned from my mother. I wear the same purple lipstick. I don't embarrass my husband in public. I wait until we get home. I compromise and bend my back until it breaks. I silence myself until I forget what my own voice sounds like. I've seen my mother pluck feathers off her wings to make mine stronger. I sometimes wonder if that's why she's afraid to leave her cage. The door has always been open. I'd give her every feather that I have to see her fly. All right, one more, and then I'll go into a few of your questions. I have about 4 more or less, and then I'll answer some of you guys' questions. This one is from my honey bear. This is his request. I'm afraid to go deeper. I thought the pain of my trauma was just a river, but I'm finding out that it is an ocean. The deeper we go, the harder the pressure, and I feel like I'm going to burst. I guess you can say I'm afraid of what is down there. My therapist says, "So you're afraid of the unknown?" I respond, "Yes." She says, "You already dug deep and you survived. You got this." So those are some of your requests. What do you guys think? Okay. I see a few hearts, some likes. Okay. So, a few of your questions. My nose is sweating. Excuse me, y'all. So someone asked, what is your writing process from start to finish? How do you get into the mental space to write? So, funny enough, I get my inspiration to write in general when I'm on my cycle. Because that's when I'm at my heightened point of emotion. So in order to kind of reel everything in and not curse everyone out and stuff, I tend to write during that time frame. So that's when I let all of it pour out. From start to finish, so I started this book when I was still with my abuser. So that's why a lot of the poems in the beginning are very angry, very sad, very tough to read. There's a lot of pain in the poems in the beginning. There's pain throughout, but they're most raw in the beginning. And then I wrote the rest of the stuff throughout. So the second chapter is when I'm in Atlanta, but I'm in limbo because I haven't quite started therapy yet. But I'm not in Charlotte anymore, and I'm not dealing with the abuse every day, I'll say, because I was still somewhat having to deal with stalking and stuff like that. But the last part of the book was when I was in therapy, and that's when a lot of stuff that was buried or I thought was buried had to come to the surface in order for me to really heal from what happened in my marriage and before everything happened with my marriage, as far as my childhood and stuff like that. So I have different assignments that my therapist gave me in chapter 3. I write letters to my parents. I write letters to myself. I write down what my values are and what I'm going to accept and not accept going forward, that type of thing. So, I would say The hardest chapter, of course, was the third one, because that's when I had to really deal with myself. The first chapter, I'm blaming everything on him. The third one, I'm like, okay, what do I do now to heal me? So yeah, so from start to finish. And as far as the mental space, this book definitely was just something that kind of happened on the fly. Like, there wasn't a real plan. I just wrote as I felt things, crying in my car during my lunch break and, after therapy, that type of thing. I didn't really construct everything and give it any real formatting until later, when I decided, okay, I'm going to finish this and make it a full book. When am I, okay, I answered when am I most inspired to write. Someone asked, what is my motivation now? How has therapy helped me in my life and continue to help me? So, those who know me know that I deal with complex PTSD now due to trauma from past relationships and domestic violence. So more than likely, me and my son will always be in therapy for various reasons. Therapy is a great thing. It's an awesome thing. Shout out to Dr. Godfrey and Perfect Peace Counseling Center. They're amazing. Therapy has helped me navigate trauma as well as just everyday stress of trying to start over in a new place where I don't know anyone, and parenting after domestic violence, because my son has been affected by everything that has happened to him as well. So, we're both going to be in it for those reasons. And it's definitely helped me. I believe it's a very large part of helping me thrive, because it helps me to see that, okay, this is a mess here, but let's clean this closet out and let's put new things in it, Which poem is my favorite? So, the poem that is my favorite is my yes, no poem that I'm going to do my best to find now. Give me just a moment. I thought I tabbed it, but I guess I didn't. And the reason why it's my favorite is because I modeled it after one of my favorite poets. She was the first Black poet laureate, and her name is Rita Dove. She is amazing. If you are into poetry, you should definitely look her up. She's one of the really good contemporaries. If I can't find it, I'm going to be angry, because I could have sworn I tabbed it. Where is it? Bear with me. No, I don't think it's in that part of the... I feel like I keep passing it. Is it in the first chapter? Oh, it's not lightning. Okay, here it is. Okay, it's called A Great Fall. Yes, I cry myself to sleep every night. Every night I fall, truly break into a million pieces. Your cruelty has torn me apart. I feel like Humpty Dumpty, where all of the king's horses and all of the king's men have tried to put me together again. Will I ever be whole? No. A great fall. So, besides it being, I modeled it after Rita Dove because she often will start her poems in opposites. So she started a poem with yes, and then she ended it with no. And I did the same thing. Like, yes, I cry myself to sleep every night. Will you ever be whole? No. This is a poem from the first chapter. So, you know, like I said, a lot of anger, a lot of, you know, emotions and everything. Do I feel like I'll be whole now? Yes, of course. But at that time, with everything being fresh and having just left and everything, I felt like I wasn't going to be whole. You know, I was falling apart and everything was going wrong. And I just left this somewhat ideal, picture perfect life to, you know, be in Atlanta, working at the time, I think I was working at like a crappy call center or something. It just wasn't going as perfectly as I imagined it. And I'm an impatient person. Everyone who knows me knows that, and it gets on their nerves. But, you know, love me. So, let's see. How does your current significant other feel about your work? So, I believe that he is fully supportive. He has told me on many occasions that it is hard for him to read the entire book because he doesn't like to see that level of pain, because he loves me and he doesn't want to see someone that he really cares about deal with something to that level. But he is also a writer, even though he claims he's retired. He is a spoken word artiste. So he understands the process because he's a writer too. So it's not anything that he's intimidated about or feels like, you know, oh, she's living in the past or anything like that. He understands that it's just my process. So I appreciate my honey bear. Those are all of the questions. So if y'all have any of your own, I can see the screen just fine. So if you have any questions for any of the poems, if you want me to read something else, that's fine. What do you guys think so far? I know there's going to be a delay, so I'm just going to have to wait. Is there not a delay? Oh, so is there a delay on mine? Because I can't see any. Oh, okay, I see it. Okay, so am I working with anything new? So not officially. I have decided in my mind that I want the second part of the, I guess you can call this like a blooming series, to be about how I am learning to thrive as a parent after domestic violence. Because everything that happened has affected Nathaniel, Nate the Great, a great deal. And, you know, just learning to navigate that. So that's my newest project. Oh, I just remembered. Someone asked me what was the hardest poem to write. So all of them were hard to write, but this one was hard because I was somewhat embarrassed by it. I didn't tell anyone about everything until afterwards. Actually, no, I told Selena, but I'll explain the story later. I remember when I went back home, how foreign the house looked, how foreign you looked. I parked in the carport, grabbed my luggage, and you greeted me at the door. The fridge was as barren as it was when I left 2 months before. We avoided touching each other over the entire 24 hours. You were my husband. Yes. I was your wife. Yes. We could see on each other's lips that someone else had been there. You saw him call me. I saw her pictures. I left while you were sleeping. When you woke, you texted me, goodbye, little sorrow. So the reason why that poem was really hard for me to write is because I went back after leaving in June. So June 6th is my official freedom day. That's the day that I decided to leave. I'm done. I'm out of here. Packed everything up, drove to Atlanta. I'm out of here, But I went back in August because I was impatient and things weren't going right. And during this time, I was still allowing him to call me. And he was like, well, just come home. It'll be fine. I'm changed. I've been going to meetings and blah, 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 this, that, and the third. And I went back. Drove back. I didn't tell my family where I was. I just surprised them. Like, hey, I just came. Like, it really wasn't a surprise. I had just left his house. He did not change at all. Within less than 24 hours, he was already using my car to go and do things that he shouldn't have done. And we had started arguing because, of course, he saw someone call my phone, and I saw the pictures of the person that he temporarily moved into our house. So, yeah, that was a really tricky 24 hours. I found a way to sneak out when he was sleeping, and something told me to not unpack. I didn't bring all of my clothes with me. I just brought a small suitcase. Something told me to not unpack. And he went for a nap, and I just grabbed my luggage and I ran out to the car and I left. And he woke up and he texted me, goodbye, little sorrow, because shortly before I came back home, I got this tattoo. Yeah. So after leaving, I called my friend Selena. A few of y'all know Selena. And she told me, and I quote, girl, get the hell out of there. And I was like, I know, I got to figure out how to get out of here. And then, shortly after I left, and I just went to my son's school and I picked him up and I played it off like I just surprised him. Like, I just missed y'all and I came home. But the reality was, it was a moment of weakness for me. Like, I was willing to risk all of the help that I had gotten, all of the progress that I made to go back to my husband, even though I knew deep down, there was a chance that it was going to, end up worse again. Can you see your work transform into a play or a short film, like a videography? Yeah, who would I get to play me? That's a good question. A short film for sure. Yeah. I could see that. I could see myself writing that play or that short film. I actually have a friend who's a videographer, so, thanks for putting the bug in my ear a little bit. That would be kind of dope. Does anyone else have any questions or any comments, a poem they want me to read? I can see him now. I had to scroll down to see him. I actually, speaking of film, maybe not film, but I definitely want to get some photos. There was a family that helped me when I was leaving. Well, I guess I can explain it now. So on my freedom day, that's what I like to call it, when everything happened, I grabbed my son and we ran to a neighbor's house. I never spoke to these neighbors. I saw them, of course, but never spoke to these neighbors. They didn't know me from Adam or anything. And I go to their house and I tell them, I really need to call my mom. My husband is trying to kill me. And they bring me into their home and they embrace Nate and everything. These women saved my life. It was 3 women. It was a grandmother, a great-grandmother, 4, and 2 granddaughters. And because he stole my car, as he saw me at their house, he came to try to hurt me again as I was on the phone with the police. they tried to barricade me so that he couldn't get to me. He knocked them down, of course, and like the elderly women and there's no regard for life. And, began to choke me again while I was on the phone with the police. All of this is like in the police recording because I'm like screaming and hollering and everything. But these women didn't know me. And for some reason, they decided, like, we don't care how big this guy is. We're going to try to help you anyway. I just really appreciate that. At some point, I'm going to have to muster up the strength to go to this house and thank these women in person. One day we'll see. What do you hope people get from your work? I hope that people get that no matter what has happened in a relationship that you weren't supposed to be in, that you can fall apart and put yourself back together again. Yes, you can be Humpty Dumpty, but I wrote in one of the poems that I wrote that maybe the reason why Humpty Dumpty couldn't be put back together again is because he was supposed to put himself back together. So, yeah. So, yeah, that's what I hope everyone gets from my work. That was a good question, Tina. Thank you. Thank you. Any other questions, comments? I can actually try to find that poem while I'm here, because it's a dope one. I don't know if anyone cares about themes or anything like that, but several themes throughout this book are basically going from innocence or lack of experience to experience. So there's a lot of references to like nursery rhymes representing the innocence and stuff like that. And I don't directly say that my ex-husband was physically abusive or he hurt me physically or anything like that in the book. I just reference his hands, and his hands are representative of the domestic violence. If I could find this poem, that would be great. Okay, here it is. Okay, so June 14th, 2018. Today is my first day of individual therapy. I think I'm really ready to do the work. Maybe, just maybe, the reason why all the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again is because he was supposed to put himself back together. So yeah, that was one of the first poems in chapter 3. That's the beginning of me, deep diving. It was tough, but it was worth it. My life now is beautiful. I laugh and joke and, stuff like that on social media, but my real life is beautiful. I'm doing some great things. I'm helping amazing women. I'm working with amazing women. I am experiencing love. Real love. Healthy love. That's important. Healthy love. From my significant other, from my son, from my family. This experience has definitely taught me that my family are really my biggest fans. Like, without any questions asked, yes, you can come and live down here with us. And if I have to, I got a gun. My Uncle Charles is crazy. My mom showing up with her pink hammer to come and help me get my clothes and everything. Like, my family they're amazing. Have you thought about writing a biography about your life? I don't know if okay. So I feel like biographies are for like famous people. I don't know if anyone will really like care to read my life story yet. When I get on Oprah Winfrey's book list, I write my biography, y'all, okay? When I get famous. Wait on it. Wait on the biography. Plus, I have a lot, God willing, and the creek don't rise. I have a lot more life to live. So I want to live a little longer before fully writing a book about my life. My entire life anyway, or most of it. But yeah, something that I appreciate the most are the people who are in my life now. Georgia, Greater Atlanta, for embracing me, giving me my peach. Because I came here only having, a few family members, one friend. And, now I have so many new friends, and I have a whole family now. Like, I have a group of football moms who love me and Nate now. And I have like extended family. I have some of my significant others' family here that have embraced me. I just really appreciate you all. It hasn't been easy at all to leave with nothing but a couple of $100, my car, and me and my son's clothes. So to go from, having that to about to, start working in a field that I love to work in, and that's, working with children and families. I am now a domestic violence advocate. I'm the board secretary and victim service advocate for Safe Space Property Management. We help domestic violence survivors and their families. Most of the board members are domestic violence survivors, just like me. So, we're just doing really great work now. So I just decided to bloom. In short, I could have, fallen apart and decided to stay there. I could have decided to stay bitter and to stay hurt and to stay, in pieces. But I decided, you know what? No, too many people have helped me and made sacrifices for me to stay in this place. I have to do the work to be a better person for them and for my son. So, yeah. Does anyone else have any questions or comments? Oh, once again, if you would like an autographed copy of She Decided to Bloom, a love story written in prose, you can email me at twiniaedmond@gmail.com. That's TOYNIAEDMOND@gmail.com. The books are $9. Shipping is $5. So that's a total of $14. And I am accepting payments through Cash App, PayPal, and Zelle. I sent out a couple of copies earlier this week. I was laughing the other day because I feel like I've given more books to domestic violence survivors for free than I've actually charged people, but it's okay. It's fine. I just really want people in general who have been in a place where I was to know that, there is hope. Yes, the pain that you're feeling is here, but if you do the work, you can live a life that's beautiful beyond that. You can thrive. So, if you would like to donate a book, so that I can give some books away, you can also do that. Just, put in the description, like, book donation. And then you can just pay the $9 and I'll pay for shipping, or I'll give the book to a survivor. Like, that's fine. If you want to do that. If you would like to help other domestic violence survivors, you can also donate to Safe Space Property Management. You can go to our Facebook page, our website, SAFE propertymanagement.com. We have Cash App. It's the money sign, Safe Space Properties. And we're also on PayPal. All of those donations are tax deductible. So, yes, literally all of the money goes to helping domestic violence survivors in the greater Atlanta area. So, oh, yes. So if you already purchased the book and you would like it signed, the plan was to do in-person book signings and readings. And this was the dress I was going to wear for one of them, but you know, due to the pandemic, COVID-19, I had to push them back. So I'm going to do them in October. October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month and my birthday month. So I'm going to have one in Charlotte and in Greater Atlanta in October, and I'll give you all the dates as soon as I can. Hopefully everything will be okay then. Okay, if that is it, I'll wait like another minute or so, you think? If anyone wants to, you know, give a comment or wants me to read anything, or if not, then I'll let you all enjoy your Sunday, but I'll give it another 45 seconds to a minute, I guess. You think I did good, babe? Oh, if anyone has missed anything, I am going to be uploading this in HD, and I am going to try to figure out a way to get this on my podcast, my Lindsay podcast, as a bonus episode. I just have to figure it out. So I'll let you all know about that. I love you too, Dad. Yes, I did answer your questions, and Kirill, you have to get the you have to listen to the rewatch or get the bonus episode. Okay, so if that is all, okay. I'm going to end this how I end all of my interviews. They always ask, if you could say something to a domestic violence survivor who was in the same situation as you, what would you say? So I'm going to say that if you are in a domestic violence situation or a relationship, you have the strength to leave. You have the strength to get out of it. You are not weak for being where you are. You were not selfish for being where you were. You were not selfish for wanting to stay in something that seems stable for the time, even though it isn't. You have the strength to go. You just need help and resources. You need a safety plan. And in order to get help with that safety plan, you can contact the National Domestic Violence Hotline, or if you want something that's a little more intimate, you can contact Safe Space Property Management, and we can help you with a safety plan and with the resources to be able to help you leave. We won't abandon you after you leave. That is one of the main reasons why a lot of domestic violence survivors don't leave. It's the unknown of what's going to happen after I leave. We are here with you every step of the way. Whether you're a victim, you're a survivor, or you are in your thriving stage. Safe Space Property Management and, you know, those affiliated are here with you throughout the entire process. You survived a lot already. You can survive beyond this. Thank you. Bye.